America loves a superstar.
I'm Jason 2J's Jennings. I was a football legend.
But once you reach the mountaintop of greatness, everybody wants to see you fall.
Whew, 2J's just got smoked.
Damn!
You pled guilty to charges of speeding and damage to city property. I'm recommending community service with the Long Beach Recreations Department.
I thought I was getting like some Martha Stewart kind of treatment.
You too good for the community that raised you.
You would think with CG effects that bad, this movie would be so easy to pick on. Well, this week on Talking About the Movies, we're talking about Snoop Dogg coaching an underdog football team in a film called The Underdogs. Welcome to Talking About the Movies, and on this show, of course, we take a look at the biggest new releases of the weekend, and, yeah, it's not a big new release week. Nothing opened up in theaters. The box office this week is going to show that either Mean Girls or The Beekeeper is going to be the #1 movie, even though that's been out for a couple weeks now. So, what is the big new release this weekend? And I think you saw from the trailer there, Snoop Dogg has a new sports comedy out that's exclusively on Amazon Prime that's also R-rated. So I figure, why not take a look at that? Let's take a look at The Underdogs. So The Underdogs is a story about Snoop Dogg. He plays a washed-up ex-professional football star named JC2J's Jennings. And he hits rock bottom. He's sentenced to community service coaching the Underdogs, an unruly Pee-wee football team in his hometown of Long Beach, California. He sees it as an opportunity to rebuild his public image and turn his life around. As JC works to transform the Falmouth Underdogs into top-notch champions, he reconnects with his past, including an old flame, a few of his ex-teammates, and rediscovers his love of the game, and blah, 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 blah. You've seen the story done before so many times. It's the typical underdog sports comedy. I mean, the title is literally called The Underdogs, except it's D-O-double-G, because, of course, it's Snoop Dogg. But, this director has made some good movies. This is directed by Charles Stone. And he did, Charles Stone III to be exact, but he did Drumline. He did Mr. 3000, which is a criminally underrated Bernie Mac movie. He did Uncle Drew, which is one of those big surprises that I really did not see coming. I never really got into the character as a whole from the commercials and like the videos he did, Kyrie Irving did, but the movie was really surprisingly funny. Like, it was one of those movies in 2018 that was just like, that movie was actually really good. How the hell did that happen? I'm still baffled by how good that movie was. That was actually a fun movie, a fun little underrated basketball movie. So I went into this with a little bit of expectations. But really, the reason I wanted to check this movie out was mostly because that trailer looked so bad and the CG looked so terrible there. I mean, you saw with that car getting hit by the bus. It's just like, somebody actually put money into this, and somebody actually thought this was going to be put on the big screen. I mean, the money's there. They spent $30 million on this movie, but the CG doesn't show it. I mean, the CG may not show it, but you can tell that they've probably spent a ton of money on it, and didn't really use it on the effects and all that. So this movie, so I watched it, and it's about what you think it is. I mean, honestly, like I said before, it's every underdog sports movie ever. It's trying to be, I think it's trying to be kind of like another Bad News Bears. But the Bad News Bears the original Bad News Bears from 1976 was PG, and yet it was still very foul-mouthed, but because that's what PG actually meant, PG, not PG nowadays, where it's just like, PG means like, there's some lines that aren't really swear words, but they're crude humor, that type of stuff. Like, no, that was back when PG actually meant something. This is trying to be just like that, except it's trying to go for a little bit more of a raunchier edge to it. But even then, it doesn't really succeed on that front, though. It's one of those movies that's just kind of like, I kind of expected more to talk about with it, but you know what it reminded me of? There was a movie that Ice Cube and Mike Epps did back in the day called Jakey Promoters. And I'd heard about the story of how that movie was not even finished, and yet the studio finished it without Ice Cube ever knowing about it. And I thought to myself, and I've always heard about this movie, and I wanted to actually review it. Like, I actually wanted to review it, thinking it was going to be this really bad movie that nobody really wanted to delve into, because it was just so. It's one of those movies that's just so bad. It's just like. So I finally watched it after so many years, and I was kind of let down by it because it was not a bad movie, nor was it a great movie. It was just kind of there, and there really wasn't a whole lot there for me to talk about with this. That's what I kind of went into. That's kind of how I feel about this particular movie. And you go into it looking at that trailer, seeing how bad some of the stuff in it is, and you come out of it just going like, really, there's nothing else really to say about it. It's kind of like vapor. It's like going through. It's like it goes through one ear and out the other, and then you pretty much forget about it as soon as you watch it. Because I've almost literally forgotten about this movie after I watched it yesterday. I mean, I only watched it yesterday. That's how much this movie did not leave much of a lasting impact on me. It's a movie that's just, it really is the typical story about this guy trying to come back and trying to teach these kids about becoming a team and all that type of stuff, and then he's going to have that moment where he has to break up with at the third act breakup and the big misunderstanding, and he has to come back and realize what it really means to be so and so. Like that's like stuff we've seen done over and over and over again, and it's just like, if it's done well, like I've always said, if it's done well, it could actually make for something enjoyable. But here, not really. I'll get Snoop Dogg though. He does have a lot of he does have a little bit of screen presence to him. He has a lot of charisma to him, and like I'm actually surprised that he hasn't tackled more leading roles, because he does show up when he shows up in these movies. He does put his all into it. Like I think he has the capabilities to be a really good actor. And maybe not like Oscar caliber level, but you can tell that he has charisma to him, and he does show potential as an actor in here. And I thought he did a decent job in here. I don't think he was great overall, but I thought he did enough to carry the weight of the film to say that there is some merit to it. There also has a lot of great actors in this movie. Tika Sumpter from the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. I've talked about how underrated of an actress she is. Mike Epps is also in the movie as well. Mike Epps can usually be very funny. George Lopez is in this. Cal Penn. But like I said, though, everything else about it has kind of been there, done that. It's stuff we've seen done over and over and over again, and there really is not a whole lot to it that makes it stand out. It's not really all that memorable, or even raunchy for if we're being quite honest with you. There's not really a whole lot in this movie where they go to like the crazy R-rated levels that a good raunchy comedy should. Like there's no, like we just had stuff like Good Boys and No Hard Feelings, and these modern raunchy movies that actually did try to do something to get to that R rating. But here it just feels like they only have the R rating there so they can add more foul language into this. They can say the F word more times, and really, that's really not enough to really save the movie in general. So overall, my final thoughts on the film, because I kind of expected more from it on a bad movie level perspective, especially with some of those CG effects I just showed you before. But once you get past those, there's really nothing else about this movie. I mean, have you seen The Mighty Ducks? Have you seen The Bad News Bears? Have you seen Major League? Have you seen The Longest Yard? Have you seen these cool runnings? Have you seen these underdog sports stories? Here's another one, except this one's got a bigger potty mouth to it. But I mean, I can't say it's a bad movie per se, but I can't say it's really a great movie either. This is the type of movie that probably works better as a Prime Video exclusive. I know they thought about putting this in theaters at one point. I know there's this big hubbub going on right now with Doug Liman about how his Roadhouse movie should be in theaters, but Amazon's putting it out exclusively on Prime Video, which that one deserves to be seen in theaters. But this, Prime Video is probably the best place for it. So yeah, not much is. Actually, you know what? Another movie that just reminded me of, just came out recently from Prime Video. Candy Cane Lane came out last month on Prime Video with Eddie Murphy. Everyone looked at that trailer and thought, "Oh, this is going to be terrible. This is not going to be very good." And then you watch it, and it's just kind of like, it's kind of like this. Like, it's not a bad movie per se. You could tell what they were trying to do with it, but it's not enough to make me say this is actually a good movie. Like, it's a movie that's just kind of like, I mean, I'm glad I saw it, but I have no intentions of ever watching it again. Kind of, I feel the same way about this particular movie right here. I don't hate the movie. I don't like it either. I'm glad I got to see it once, but I have no intentions of seeing this ever again. I feel like there should have been some more to it, whether it was good or bad. But as it is, I just give it a mixed review, a mixed reaction right here. I can't really put my thumb down on it, nor can I really put my thumb up on it. It's just kind of like, it's there. It doesn't really leave a lot of a memorability to it once it's all said and done, and you just kind of move on with your day after that. That's how I kind of felt about this movie. So yeah, usually this is where, since this is the last episode of the month, I usually kind of just do the recap of all the movies I checked out, but I can just run through them pretty quickly because there really is not a whole lot to say about the movies that came out this month. It's a January month, like, fuck you, it's January, that's what it is. So, I gave a mixed reaction to Mean Girls. I gave a thumbs up to The Beekeeper, which was a really fun movie, probably the best movie I saw this month, and yeah, a mixed reaction to Underdoggs, So yeah, very quick episode this time around. Next time, we'll take a look at some movies that hopefully will be good. We've got Matthew Vaughn's latest film, Argyle, which will come out next week. One I'm actually looking forward to seeing. I think from a visual perspective, it looks really cool. But yeah, that's what I'm definitely looking forward to checking out. So I'll have a review for that next time. If you like what you saw and you want to see more videos like this, check out the playlist on the next page, and then check out the last episode I did talking about Mean Girls and The Beekeeper. But thank you guys for watching, and like I said, if you like this, hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, take care.